I'll never forget the sound of it, the low, hungry roar that started as a crackle. By the time I stumbled out of bed, my window glowed orange like the gates of hell. My home, my father's home, was on fire. And standing at the edge of the street, clutching a garden hose and a smug little smirk, was Karen Wexler, the president of the Maple Ridge HOA. I ran out barefoot, choking on smoke. My mind couldn't process it. Every wall, every memory, my wedding photos, my dad's war medals, the cedar chest he built with his hands, all of it burning because of her. "Karen," I screamed, voice breaking. "What did you do?" She just tilted her head, feigning innocence. "Oh, Derek, you really should have trimmed those hedges. Fire hazards can spread quickly." That was it. No panic, no sympathy, just that polished fake concern she wore like perfume. I lunged forward, but 2 firefighters grabbed me before I could reach her. The flames swallowed the last corner of the roof, and the night sky lit up in shades of orange and black. My house collapsed into itself with a deep, hollow thud. And Karen, she turned around, pulled out her phone, and started filming. It started 6 months earlier, when I moved back into my late father's house after his passing. Maple Ridge had always been a quiet suburban neighborhood, white fences, flower boxes, and an HOA that loved to pretend it was a small government. Karen Wexler had been running the place like a dictator for years. I'd heard the stories: people fined for leaving their garbage bins out too long, mailboxes repainted for being off-white instead of eggshell. But I didn't care. My dad's home was my anchor. I'd just come back from 12 years as a prosecutor for the state, and I was ready to build a quieter life. Karen had other plans. The moment she saw me painting my fence navy blue, my dad's favorite color, she showed up with a clipboard. "This color violates HOA Section 9, Paragraph 3, she chirped. "Fences must be white or beige." I smiled. "Karen, the HOA has no legal jurisdiction over properties purchased before 2002. My dad's was built in 1998. Her smile twitched. "That's not how we do things here." I gave her a polite nod and closed the door. That was the day I became her enemy. Over the next few months, she bombarded me with fines for unauthorized exterior modifications. I ignored them. Then came the letters, the fake violation photos, and even a threat to revoke my community privileges. When that didn't work, she started trespassing. I'd catch her snapping photos of my garden at night, sometimes with a flashlight. One afternoon, she marched up my driveway waving a pink slip. "You've got 3 days to repaint your fence or the HOA will escalate." "Escalate how?" I asked. She smiled. "You'll see." 2 nights later, my security camera caught her dumping what looked like leaves by my shed. When I checked the footage again the next morning, it had been erased. I upgraded the cameras, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. It was a Tuesday night. I'd fallen asleep watching a trial documentary when the smoke alarm blared. I stumbled to the window, and saw fire racing up my porch. By the time I got outside, the flames were everywhere. My throat burned. I screamed for help, but all I heard were distant sirens and the crackling inferno devouring my home. Karen stood there across the street, pretending to help, watering her lawn while watching me lose everything. The fire department said it was likely electrical. I didn't buy it, so I pulled the security footage from my cloud backup, footage Karen didn't know existed. It showed her slipping through the side gate around 11:42 p.m., carrying a can of lighter fluid. I handed the footage to the county sheriff the next morning. They took her in less than an hour later. Her smug confidence evaporated the moment the detectives showed her the evidence. Arson, trespassing, destruction of property. The neighborhood was in shock. The same woman who'd fined people for leaving out Christmas lights had torched a man's home because she couldn't control him. But it wasn't over. The case went to court 2 months later. I sat in the front row of the gallery, still reeling from losing everything. And when the doors opened, there she was. Karen Wexler, wearing pearls, a beige blazer, acting like she owned the place. Then she looked up at the bench. Her jaw went slack, because standing behind it was me. See, what Karen never bothered to find out was that before moving back home, I'd been appointed as a temporary municipal judge for the district's small claims and misdemeanor court. The same court her case had been assigned to. The irony hit her like a truck. Her attorney scrambled to object, demanding a reassignment due to conflict of interest. But because I had no direct involvement in the case's investigation, the ethics board allowed me to preside, at least for the arraignment. She couldn't even meet my eyes. Mrs. Wexler, I began, my voice calm but steady, you're charged with felony arson and property destruction. Do you understand these charges? She stammered. I was just enforcing HOA policy. By setting a man's house on fire. Her lawyer whispered frantically, trying to shut her up. The courtroom was silent except for the scratching of the stenographer's keys. I leaned forward. You nearly killed someone, Mrs. Wexler. A man asleep inside his own home. She swallowed hard. For once, there was no smug smile. No clipboard, just a terrified woman realizing her empire of control had crumbled. The case was later transferred to another judge for the trial itself, but that moment, seeing her pale face across my courtroom, was something I'll never forget. Justice, in its purest form, doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's just the sound of a gavel hitting the bench while the person who destroyed your life realizes theirs is over too. Karen was sentenced to 15 years in prison. The insurance payout rebuilt my home brick by brick, just as it was before. But I never repainted the fence. It's still navy blue. Every time I walk past it, I remember the flames, the loss, and the look on Karen's face when she realized she was standing in my courtroom, her fate sealed by the man she tried to destroy. And that's the thing about people like her. They think they can burn your world down and walk away untouched. Until the fire finally turns back toward them.